Have you ever felt like there's just this whole world of thoughts and feelings kind of bubbling beneath the surface, like just out of reach?
Hmm.
And like there's a part of you that just knows more than you consciously realize.
Yeah.
That's where things get really exciting as we do this deep dive into active imagination,
Right.
a method that was really pioneered by Carl Jung.
What's so fascinating here is Jung believed that this hidden part of us,
Yeah.
the unconscious mind,
Right.
that it isn't actually silent.
Okay.
It speaks through dream symbols and even those flashes of insight that kind of seem to come out of nowhere.
So it's not just about unearthing like buried memories or, things from the past.
Right.
It's more like learning to understand a whole new language.
Exactly.
Okay.
Active imagination is really about building a relationship with your unconscious mind,
Wow.
learning to decipher its messages, and then harnessing its incredible power.
Now, this might sound a little bit mystical to some people, but there's actually a lot of science to back this up. Think about how athletes use visualization to improve their performance, or how therapists use guided imagery to help patients manage anxiety and things like that.
We're right.
Um,
These techniques really tap into the power of the mind
yeah,
to influence our emotions and even our physical well-being.
that's so interesting.
And what's really amazing is that a 2008 study by A. David and colleagues found that visualization therapy
Okay.
actually significantly reduced anxiety and depression symptoms.
Oh, wow.
And the patients felt more empowered because they were actively engaging with their emotions rather than just trying to suppress them.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's like active imagination takes this concept to a whole new level.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it different from something like mindfulness, which is also about, being aware of your thoughts?
That's a great question, and it highlights a key distinction.
Okay.
Mindfulness, as studied extensively by Kabat-Zinn in 2005, is about cultivating a calm and observant state of mind.
Oh.
You notice thoughts without judgment, kind of like watching clouds drift by.
I like that analogy.
And it's so effective for reducing stress and just increasing focus.
Right. And I can see how that would be really beneficial for just like everyday life.
Right.
So where does active imagination fit in?
So while mindfulness helps us to detach from our thoughts in a way,
Okay.
active imagination encourages us to engage with them.
Oh.
It's about asking, why is this thought here? Or why is this feeling here?
Okay.
What is it trying to tell me?
So it's about uncovering deeper meaning and using that knowledge for personal growth.
Exactly.
So it's less about silencing the mind and more about having this dynamic conversation with it.
Yeah,
Almost exploring this hidden world within yourself.
precisely. And what's truly remarkable is that active imagination can help us uncover psychological complexes.
Okay.
So those patterns of thoughts and behaviors that can sometimes hold us back.
Right.
It can even help us tap into universal archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
Those symbolic representations of human experience that Jung believed reside in what he called the collective unconscious.
Wow. This is starting to sound like a deep dive into the very essence of who we are.
It really is.
So how do we actually do active imagination?
Right.
Are there specific techniques that we can try?
Absolutely. One of the most powerful techniques is writing.
Okay.
Imagine a challenging feeling like fear or frustration as if it were a person,
Okay.
and then write a dialogue with it.
So I would be having a conversation with my fear
Exactly.
on paper.
Yes. It might feel strange at first,
I can imagine.
but it's a way to bring those hidden emotions to the surface and understand them better.
Okay.
You could ask your fear, for example, what are you trying to protect me from?
Oh.
What do you need me to know?
I can see how that could be incredibly insightful.
It can be.
What other techniques are there?
Visualization is another powerful method.
Okay.
Picture yourself in a peaceful place, a forest, a beach, whatever really resonates with you. And then simply observe what images or figures appear.
So just let those images come naturally without forcing anything?
Exactly. Now here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
These images aren't random.
Okay.
They're symbolic representations of your unconscious mind trying to communicate.
Oh, wow.
Don't try to control them. Just observe and ask questions. What do they make you feel? What message are they trying to convey?
It reminds me of art therapy where people use creative expression to process emotions.
You're onto something. In fact, both active imagination and art therapy, as explored in a 2010 study by G. Malchiodi,
Okay.
they give form to those formless feelings and impulses that might be lurking in the unconscious.
It's like translating a hidden language into something that we can see and understand.
Precisely. And what's crucial to remember is that the real power of active imagination lies not just in uncovering these hidden elements,
Okay.
but in integrating them into our lives.
So it's not enough to just have a conversation with our unconscious.
Right.
We need to actually do something with those insights.
Think of it like this. You've had this amazing conversation with your unconscious.
Right.
You've gained valuable insights, but now you need to apply them.
So it's about turning those whispers from the unconscious into a clear voice that guides us in our everyday lives.
Precisely. Let me give you an example. Imagine you discover through active imagination that you have a fear of failure that's been holding you back from pursuing your dreams.
Okay, yeah. I can see how that would be a major roadblock for a lot of people.
Now, instead of letting that fear control you, you can start to challenge it.
Okay.
You can ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I fail? What can I learn from this experience?
Right.
How can I reframe failure as a stepping stone to success?
So active imagination isn't just about self-discovery. It's about self-transformation.
Exactly. And this process of transformation is deeply intertwined with self-reflection.
Oh, okay.
A 2016 study by E. Grant and M. Franklin found that people who actively reflect on their experiences and emotions develop stronger emotional regulation over time.
Interesting. So the more we reflect on what we discover through active imagination,
Yeah,
the more we can actually integrate those insights and use them to make positive changes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Active imagination helps us move from self-discovery to self-mastery.
This is all so incredibly fascinating, but I'm curious how active imagination compares to other self-exploration techniques, like guided imagery or free association.
That's a great question. Let's start with guided imagery, which is often used for relaxation and stress reduction.
Yeah.
You listen to a script that leads you through a series of visualizations, often accompanied by calming music.
Right. I've tried those before.
Yeah,
They can be very relaxing.
they are. However, guided imagery follows a predetermined path like following a map.
So it's not as personalized as active imagination.
Exactly. Active imagination, on the other hand, is like exploring uncharted territory.
Mm.
You set the course, you make the discoveries, and you reap the rewards.
You're the captain of your own inner journey.
Precisely. Now, free association developed by Sigmund Freud is another fascinating technique.
Yeah. Involves saying whatever comes to mind without censorship, allowing those deeper unconscious thoughts to surface.
So it's kind of like stream of consciousness writing, but verbally.
Exactly. The goal is to uncover hidden associations and patterns that might reveal underlying conflicts or unresolved issues.
That sounds similar to active imagination in some ways, but I sense there are some key differences.
You're right. While both techniques aim to access the unconscious,
Yeah.
active imagination takes it a step further.
Okay.
It's not just about passively observing what emerges. It's about actively engaging in a dialogue with those unconscious elements.
So it's more about creating a relationship with those hidden parts of ourselves rather than just bringing them to light.
Exactly. It's about understanding their language, their motivations, and how they influence our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors.
That's such an important distinction.
It is.
It's not about eradicating those unconscious elements,
Yeah.
but understanding them and integrating them into our lives in a healthy way.
Precisely. And that's what makes active imagination so transformative.
Yeah. It allows us to move from a state of inner conflict to a state of greater wholeness and integration.
Wow, this is all so insightful. I'm starting to see how active imagination is more than just a therapeutic technique.
Yeah,
It's a pathway to personal growth and a deeper understanding of ourselves.
exactly. And this understanding can lead to profound healing and transformation.
Before we dive deeper into the healing power of active imagination, let's take a moment to recap what we've learned so far.
Sounds like a great idea. Let's give our listeners a chance to process all this amazing information.
Welcome back. We've been exploring this fascinating world of active imagination,
Yes.
and I'm really eager to dive deeper into how this practice can be used for healing and transformation.
It's really incredible how active imagination can bring those unconscious conflicts to the surface,
Right.
where we can finally start to work through them.
Okay.
You know, those hidden fears, anxieties, and limiting beliefs that we often try to suppress?
Yeah.
Well, they actually lose their power when we bring them into the light of consciousness.
So it's not about pretending that those challenging emotions don't exist.
Right.
It's more about facing them head on with a sense of curiosity and compassion.
Exactly. And active imagination provides a safe and structured way to do just that.
Okay.
It's like creating a dialogue with those hidden parts of ourselves,
Right.
listening to their stories and understanding their motivations.
It's like we're finally acknowledging those parts of ourselves that we've been ignoring or rejecting.
Precisely. And this acknowledgement, this acceptance, is the first step towards healing.
Wow.
It's like saying, I see you, I hear you, and I'm willing to listen.
This is all so powerful, but I'm wondering, what does that healing process actually look like in practice?
Okay.
Can you give me an example?
Of course, let's say someone is struggling with a deep-seated fear of abandonment.
Okay.
Through active imagination, they might visualize this fear as like a shadowy figure lurking in the background.
Okay, I can see how that would be a powerful image.
Now, instead of running away from that shadowy figure, they engage with it.
Yeah.
They might ask it, why are you here? What are you trying to tell me? What do you need?
That's incredible. It's like they're having a conversation with their fear,
Right.
trying to understand it rather than just trying to get rid of it.
Exactly. And what often happens is that the fear, once acknowledged and understood,
Yeah.
it actually begins to transform.
Oh, wow.
It might lose its shadowy form, becoming less intimidating.
Okay.
The person might realize that this fear actually stems from childhood experiences
Oh.
and that it's no longer serving them in their adult life.
So by bringing those unconscious fears and anxieties to the surface
Right.
and engaging with them, we can start to heal those old wounds and create new, more empowering patterns.
Precisely. It's like we're rewriting the script of our lives,
Ah.
replacing those old limiting beliefs with new, more supportive ones.
This is all so inspiring, but I know some of our listeners might be thinking, this sounds great in theory, but how do I actually do active imagination?
That's a great question.
Huh?
We've already touched on some techniques like writing and visualization.
Right.
Remember, with writing, you can imagine a challenging feeling as a person and have a dialogue with it on paper.
Right. That was the one where I'd be having a conversation with my fear on paper.
Yes.
I'm actually really intrigued by that one.
It's a powerful technique.
Yeah.
And with visualization,
Yeah.
you can create a safe and peaceful space in your mind and see what images or figures emerge.
It's like creating this mental sanctuary where we can explore those deeper layers of ourselves.
Exactly. Now, another helpful technique is to use a physical object as a focal point.
Oh, I'm intrigued. How would that work?
So hold the object in your hand, close your eyes, and focus on its texture, its weight, its temperature,
Okay.
and then allow your mind to wander and see what thoughts, feelings, or images come up in relation to that object.
It sounds like a way to anchor our attention while allowing our unconscious mind to wander freely.
Exactly. So it's like providing a bridge between the conscious and unconscious worlds.
This is all so fascinating, but I'm also curious about any potential risks or challenges associated with active imagination. Is it always a smooth and pleasant journey?
That's an important question. And while active imagination is generally a safe and beneficial practice,
Okay.
it's essential to approach it with a sense of respect and self-awareness.
Okay.
Remember, we're dealing with powerful forces here,
Right.
and it's important to honor our own boundaries.
So it's not about forcing ourselves to confront anything that feels too overwhelming or intense.
Exactly. It's about listening to our intuition and proceeding at a pace that feels safe and comfortable.
Okay.
And if something feels too intense, it's always okay to take a break or seek guidance from a qualified therapist.
It sounds like having a trusted guide along for the journey could be incredibly valuable. That's especially for those who are new to active imagination.
Absolutely. They can provide support, encouragement, and a safe space to process any challenging emotions or experiences that might arise.
I'm so glad we addressed that.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that self-care is paramount throughout this process.
Hey.
But beyond the potential challenges, I'm eager to hear more about the transformative power of active imagination.
Okay.
How can it help us live more authentic and fulfilling lives?
That's a great question. One of the most profound ways active imagination transforms us is by helping us integrate those fragmented parts of ourselves that we've been rejecting or suppressing.
So it's about becoming whole again, embracing all aspects of who we are.
Exactly. You see, so often we try to fit ourselves into boxes defined by societal expectations or our own limiting beliefs.
Right.
We try to hide the parts of ourselves that we deem unacceptable or unworthy.
It's like we're constantly trying to edit and censor ourselves, trying to present this perfect version to the world.
Precisely. But active imagination encourages us to drop the mask,
Okay.
to embrace our shadows as well as our light.
So it's about accepting all parts of ourselves, even those we've been trying to hide.
Exactly. And when we do that, something magical happens.
What's that?
We stop fighting against ourselves.
Okay.
We stop wasting energy on trying to be someone we're not.
Right.
And in that space of acceptance, we discover a profound sense of freedom and wholeness.
That sounds incredible. It's like we're finally giving ourselves permission to be fully human, to embrace all of our complexities and contradictions.
Precisely. And as we integrate those fragmented parts of ourselves,
Yeah.
we become more authentic, more compassionate, and more resilient.
This is all so inspiring. I can see how active imagination isn't just about healing old wounds.
Mhm.
It's about unlocking our full potential,
Right.
living a life that's truly aligned with our authentic selves.
Exactly. It's about discovering who we truly are beyond the limitations of our conscious minds.
I'm so excited to hear more about this journey of self-discovery before we continue our deep dive.
Wow.
Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned so far.
Okay.
We've explored the healing power of active imagination and how it can help us integrate those fragmented parts of ourselves.
We've also discussed the importance of self-care and seeking guidance when needed,
Right.
ensuring a safe and empowering experience.
This is such valuable information, and when we come back, we'll delve even deeper into the practical applications of active imagination and how you can incorporate these techniques into your daily life.
It's going to be an exciting journey of self-discovery and transformation.
Welcome back. We've been on quite the journey exploring these depths of active imagination.
It has been an incredible exploration.
Yeah, uncovering its healing power and potential for personal transformation.
It really has. And, I think we've moved from understanding the basic principles to really grasping how active imagination can help us live more authentic and fulfilling lives.
And I think you've done an amazing job of explaining these sometimes complex concepts in a way that's both insightful and engaging.
Thank you.
So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive, I'm curious to hear more about how people can actually incorporate active imagination into their daily lives.
That's a great question. And, the good news is that you don't need to set aside hours each day to reap the benefits of this practice.
Okay.
Even just small, consistent steps can make a big difference.
So it's more about creating a sustainable practice, something
Yeah.
that fits into our busy lives.
Exactly. And it can be as simple as setting aside, 10 or 15 minutes each morning to journal about your dreams.
Yeah.
Or any recurring thoughts or feelings that are surfacing.
It's like checking in with our unconscious mind, seeing what messages it might be trying to send us.
Precisely. Another powerful practice is to incorporate active imagination into your creative pursuits.
Oh, okay.
Whether you enjoy painting, writing, dancing, or playing music,
Yeah.
allow yourself to enter a state of flow
Okay.
and just see where your intuition takes you.
So instead of trying to control the creative process, we're allowing our unconscious mind to guide us.
Exactly. And you might be surprised by the insights and inspiration that emerge when you let go of that conscious control.
I love that it's like we're tapping into this wellspring of creativity that we didn't even know we had.
Right.
Now, I know we've touched on this before, but I think it's worth reiterating the importance of self-care throughout this process.
Absolutely. Active imagination can be a powerful tool for healing,
Right.
but it's essential to proceed with gentleness and respect for your own boundaries.
Yeah.
If you encounter any challenging emotions or memories, don't hesitate to take a break or seek support from a qualified therapist.
It's like a reminder that this is a journey, not a race,
Right.
and it's okay to go at your own pace.
Exactly. And as you continue exploring active imagination, remember that consistency is key.
Okay.
The more you practice, the more attuned you'll become to the subtle language of your unconscious mind.
It's like strengthening a muscle.
Yes,
The more we use it, the stronger it becomes.
you got it. And over time, you'll find that active imagination becomes more than just a practice.
Okay.
It becomes a way of being in the world, a lens through which you view your experiences with greater depth and understanding.
This has been such an illuminating deep dive. I feel like I've gained a whole new perspective on the power of the unconscious mind and its potential to guide us towards healing and wholeness.
It's been a pleasure sharing this journey with you.
Likewise.
And I hope our listeners feel empowered to embark on their own explorations of active imagination.
I have no doubt they will. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners as they embark on this exciting adventure?
Just this, trust your intuition.
Okay.
Active imagination is a deeply personal journey.
Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong way to approach it.
Right.
Allow yourself to be guided by your own inner wisdom
Okay.
and embrace the transformative power of this incredible practice.
That's such beautiful advice.
Thank you.
And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into active imagination.
It's been an honor sharing this exploration with you.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of self-discovery. We hope you'll continue exploring the depths of your own unconscious mind and discover the incredible potential that lies within. Until next time, Keep diving deep.